Have you ever wondered how the universe was formed? Where did humanity come from? And what will be the future of humankind? These eternal questions leave us perplexed. But with scientific knowledge, modern telescopes have partially unveiled the mysteries of, bringing us astonishing scientific insight about the origin of the universe and life. Discoveries in astronomy, biology, and philosophy have led many scientists to deeply contemplate the universe and life on this planet are essentially part of a grand design. Many scientists today speak of only a supreme intelligence could create and design the immense perfection of this universe. Everyone knows Isaac Newton as one of the most outstanding scientists in history and the father of modern physics. To prove the existence of divinity, in his later years Newton wrote theological works exceeding 1.5 million words. He once posed the question, what exists where there is no matter? Why is everything in the universe so orderly? What is the role of the planets? Are animal eyes designed according to optical principles? Could it be that a creator made this universe? Although science hasn't immediately clarified the origin of all things, it all leads us back to the omnipotent being. The famous astronomer Halley was Newton's close friend. He is renowned for calculating the orbit of Halley's comet. Halley didn't believe everything in the universe was created by deities. One day Halley visited Newton, saw the solar system model Newton had crafted, and was utterly amazed. At the center of the model was a gilded sun. The planets were neatly arranged around it. Just pull the crank, and the planets immediately move harmoniously in orbit. Extremely exquisite. Halley asked Newton who made this model. Newton replied that the model wasn't designed or made by anyone, but rather formed by random collisions of materials. Halley said no matter what, someone must have made it. Moreover, that person must be a genius. At this moment Newton patted Halley's shoulder and said, this model may be exquisite, but compared to the actual solar system, it's nothing. Even you believe someone crafted it. Then the solar system, millions of times more exquisite, must have a creator. Is it not that an almighty deity used his great wisdom to create it? Halley suddenly became enlightened, finally believed that gods exist. If that enormous celestial body is also a masterpiece, then what about this tiny human body? The mystery of the human body remains an enigma that science can hardly explain to this day. The human body, from its structure to its functional mechanisms, is extremely delicate and perfect. Almost no scientist can deny this. However, they still believe this is a product created by natural laws, rather than being created by the great wisdom of God. Just as they still believe in theories about the universe, considering the emergence of Earth and humanity as products of probability theory. If someone claimed that letting a monkey play randomly, after playing many times, it would definitely play a world-famous piece of music, you would find this way of thinking naive and childish, wouldn't you? Yet when researching the origins of humanity and the universe, modern science treats this nearly impossible event as reality. Physicists calculate that for life to exist, gravity and other physical laws governing our universe must be adjusted with extreme precision. Otherwise our universe could not exist. For example, did you know that if the expansion rate of the universe were just slightly slower, gravity would pull all matter into a big crunch? Which is the hypothesis of the universe collapsing back to a point after it stops expanding following the Big Bang. Stephen Hawking wrote as follows: if the expansion rate 1 second after the Big Bang were smaller by even 1 part in 100,000 million, the universe would have collapsed before reaching its current size. Conversely, if the expansion rate were just slightly faster, all galaxies, stars and planets might never have formed, and we could not have appeared. For life to exist, the conditions in our solar system and planet also need to be extremely precise. For example, we all realize that without an oxygen-containing atmosphere, none of us could breathe. And without oxygen, water could not exist. Without water, there would be no rain for crops. Other elements like calcium, hydrogen, nitrogen, sodium, carbon and phosphorus are also essential for life. Not all that. The size, temperature, relative distance and chemical composition of the planet, our sun and moon also need to be precise in every aspect. There are likely many other biological and climatic conditions that also need to be perfect. Scientists with faith often argue that only God could arrange such conditions. But atheists and agnostics have been unable to explain these apparent coincidences. "13-year-old prodigy William Malise participated in the scientific debate." William Malise is a boy born in 2007, living in Penthouse Ship, Pennsylvania, USA. William graduated from high school in May 2016 when he was 9 years old. He then studied at Allegheny County Community College and enrolled at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh from fall 2017. From a young age, William had a clear direction for his life, proving the existence of God through science. It's hard to imagine a child from a young age being passionate about researching the origin of the universe. He read and understood advanced physics books about the universe, determined to earn a PhD in astrophysics. Strange is that this child had innocent scientific arguments that align with Gödel. "I want to prove to everyone that God truly exists by pointing out that only a power outside the universe could have created the universe," William said. He conducted some survey research on high-level theories, but this research began to show that physicist Stephen Hawking was wrong about the origin of the universe. William had read some of Stephen Hawking's books, including The Grand Design, a book that's very difficult to understand even for scientifically educated. In this book, Hawking says that the universe could create itself from nothing, meaning the universe could form spontaneously, and therefore God is unnecessary. But William has arguments to refute Hawking's viewpoint. William said, "I'm proving that only God has the ability to create this universe. My data is accurate, my research has progressed 70%. And as soon as it's complete, I want to share it with the whole world." When asked what his dream was, the child prodigy answered without hesitation, "I want to become an astrophysicist to prove to the scientific community that God truly exists." William said in a recent interview at Hellenic College Holy Cross. When asked why he felt the need to prove this to scientists, William answered more profoundly, "Yes, because there are atheist scientists trying to say there is no God. While in reality, believing there is no God requires more faith than believing there is God. Because having something create the universe makes more sense than the universe creating itself. To say the universe created itself requires more faith than saying something outside the universe created it. Because that would be more logical." But his viewpoint aligns with Kurt Gödel's incompleteness theorem. William is completely right to refute Hawking's view that the universe could create itself from nothing. Theorem, Hawking. Because Hawking's system of the universe creating itself is actually a self-referential system. According to Gödel's theorem, all self-referential systems lead to contradictions. Hawking himself in his paper about Gödel and the end of physics said that physical theories about the universe are all self-referential systems, and therefore will be inconsistent and incomplete. In other words, there will never be any theory that can describe the universe completely and accurately. So the hypothesis of the universe creating itself is a hypothesis about a self-referential universe. Therefore, that hypothesis must lead to contradictions. William Ellis is even more correct in asserting that only a force outside the universe could create the universe. This idea also completely aligns with Gödel's theorem. This theorem says that a system A cannot fully and consistently judge itself. To judge a system A more completely and accurately, one must go outside A. So who could the creator be? Have scientists now convinced us that a creator with such extraordinary intelligence? What would that person look like? Is that person just a cosmic force like in Star Wars? Or is he an individual like us? Because we are individuals in relationships, does our creator also have personal characteristics and relationships? 2,000 years ago, a person from the East set foot on our planet. The day declared there would be an answer to life. Although his appearance on Earth was brief, his impact has changed the world to this day. His name is Jesus Christ. 500 years earlier, in the East, two other eminent figures, Buddha Shakyamuni and Laozi, also descended simultaneously to teach humanity. Ancient records recount that these enlightened ones continuously demonstrated creative abilities beyond natural laws. They were wise, humble, and compassionate. But are they the super intelligences behind the universe? Contemplating scriptures may give us a hint that God is the one who placed the stars in space, fine-tuned our universe and created us, not Jesus. In Christianity, Jesus is seen as God's messenger, a leader sent by God to save his people. The Islamic Quran affirms Jesus is an important prophet of God, who brought the Injil, gospel, could perform miracles, but does not possess supreme divine act. The Tao Te Ching and Buddhist scriptures also nowhere state that Laozi and Buddha Shakyamuni created the world. They were contemporaries of Jesus, and also seem to be sent down to the world for some mission rather than creating the universe. So, who is the creator? The reality is we've only heard of but never known him. He certainly possesses infinite power, creates life, controls space-time dimensions and transcends ordinary life and death. How can humans in this world come to know him? Only through cultivation, elevating morality, and maintaining faith is the only way to obtain that great grace and blessing.